who do you got on your team? And he's going to go, we've got Grayson and King K sitting down to play. I'm going to be like, dog.
You can't pick both Grayson and King K. You've got to give you a chance to weigh in with your picks. That's messed up.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I'm going to do that to him. I'm going to do that exact joke to him.
Wow, I can't believe you're stealing my material when the internet knows that I said it first now.
I'm not going to be claiming that it's my joke. I even said I was going to take your joke.
You know what? This conversation has made me realize
that you hate me.
We should podcast. I feel like that would be an absolute mess in the most fun way.
Have you seen that Tumblr post that's like
I want to make
a podcast called We Should Start a Podcast where I invite genuinely unfunny men onto my show to pitch their horrible podcast, and if they bring up D&D or serial killers, I get to tase them.
Just tase me when I walk in the door and just cut out the middleman. It's not worth the time.
It's just, I'm ready to...
I already mentioned D&D on commentary tonight. I've already been tased, in theory.
Yeah. No, it's if it's part of the podcast that you pitch.
This is our podcast. This is
anyways.
just...
I begged M to start the stream early so I could do this bit. So
I don't know
if you're upset about that. I can't believe that he said yes.
Are you really about to pivot the blame to M for putting this on early?
I'm not. I said I begged him to do it.
No, you said if you really want to be mad at someone or something to that effect.
I said if you really want to be mad at somebody, be mad at me.
I'm mad at you.
I told you that I'm okay with this as long as I got to do the bit. It's not even my bit. It's the Russian Badgers bit. I didn't even come up with the bit. Anyways, let's get some game audio going.
My man's playing Joker. I picked the right man. This matchup is very, very... Why are they playing on this stage on Battlefield?
It is Battlefield 4. I guess they just kind of it. We'll see. We got Solid versus Xavier6. Let's see how
I thought it was like an O with like the Macron over it, so it was like Xavier6. Like really...
Oh, yeah.
I was very confused briefly.
I'm amazed that you know what that is, because I
took Latin for 6 years.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Let's see. On paper, I think this matchup is obviously very Joker favored, but Tough Guy does a lot. Down gun kind of becomes ineffective if Bowser is just walking around on the ground, so it gets kind of weird in certain spots. But then you also have that interaction.
Yeah, up B out of shield is a little bit more dangerous for Bowser, even though he countered the splash.
That was jank in the funniest way.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Good job on him drifting back to make sure he got the shield poke on that rather than just letting it connect on shield all the time.
That I like right there from Solid. He landed very passively. He did not land super aggressively. He went, okay, I know that he's probably looking for me to land with a laggy aerial, which is mostly what Bowser has.
Yeah.
He said, all right, I'll just land smoothly, and then I'll punish whatever's afterwards.
Yeah. One thing that I do want to point out is I feel like Joker's default mode, his set of tools that most players are familiar with, in a lot of instances doesn't work against Bowser. Like I previously mentioned, you have down gun doesn't really work because of Tough Guy in a lot of instances. Back air doesn't really kill as early because Bowser is obviously a very tanky character.
Oh my goodness.
Lord, that was not appropriate DI.
Yeah, no, not quite, but also, up till it's kind of hard to catch when it comes up. That's true.
Getting back to my brief little thesis, though, I think that this match is really going to hinge on whether or not Xavier does a good job of analyzing what tools he has access to and when in this matchup in particular. Because I feel like if you just play Joker like you want to play Joker, you're not playing the correct game against Bowser. And it's not going to benefit him the way that he needs to. But I do think this is a very good matchup for Joker.
Ooh. Okay, good.
Good adjustment.
Really, really good DI there by Xavier, knowing that if he just threads the needle between those platforms, he'll definitely be living.
And just for everyone in chat that doesn't know, the person getting did he just upgun?
He did upgun.
I had a point that I wanted to make, but I just watched a Joker upgun for the first time in Smash Ultimate, so I just want to sit here and acknowledge it for at least another 3 seconds.
Hey, but upgun's really cool, so like...
It does look really cool, I'll give you that.
Just not quite as useful. Now,
I disagree with those Smash attacks, but I would have absolutely done them.
Speaking of things that go up, Xavier really needs to call out the high recoveries. That time, catching him, that down smash wasn't even designed to catch that recovery missing the ledge. It was to try to stab Solid when he was going to try to two-frame him with that.
Yeah.
And,
because that's one of Joker's few two-frame options. The other one being Arsene down tilt is the one that works, but Joker doesn't really have a lot to two-frame people on ledge other than just going off there and putting them in the hitbox on top of them.
Here we go. Lots of specials coming out here from Xavier, though. And I like that because he's realizing that, okay, I'm not spacing my normals really well, and Solid's taking advantage of maybe a really predictable approach pattern to Xavier's doing the specials putting up damage.
Xavier's doing a great job, though, of like I said earlier, pivoting his strategy. You notice that with the specials, he was playing from a distance and specifically punishing when buttons were being thrown out or when he was jumping, which are the most vulnerable times that Joker has access to punish against Bowser.
Oh, wow, twice with the Aegon. You're going to see Solid finally land
Not
that
sure
counter.
I agree with running off the platform there versus just going for a drop through down air. Joker's down air with Arsene is incredibly, incredibly strong, and absolutely would have led to a stock down situation.
3 straight counters, and yeah, Solid's going to know, especially since he was
me,
already in command grab mode. That's going to work.
There's one part of me, the logical brain, the rational brain, that wants to be like, gee, I don't know if I really agree with doing 3 counters in a row. It looks like he's not really comfortable in scramble situations, especially versus heavy characters. Pretty rough position. The other part of my brain, the caveman part of my brain, does that every match. So I'm not allowed to make that assertion.
I feel that.
I wish I knew what it felt like to have a brain.
Me too.
That would be a wonderful experience.
If y'all have tuned into the beginning of the stream, you would know that I certainly don't have.
I used to get mine from Blockbuster, but they went out of business, so I don't know where to get one anymore.
Just like Neighbor wasn't able to find Transformers Beast Wars for years upon years, until finally at the Let's Play Gaming Expo he found one.
I'm so proud of him.
I'm so proud.
He's come a long way. Damn.
He found 2, and he'd been looking for that game for like 5 years.
What is your game that you've been looking for? What is your Great White Whale?
I want a Japanese version of Ace Combat 3 Electrosphere.
I want a Japanese version of Custom Robo for the Game Boy Advance.
All right.
Custom Robo is the most underrated video game franchise of all time, and
it's really cool.
It's good. Did you know the guy that made it is making a new game? Ooh. It's called Synaptic Drive.
All right, that sounds sick.
I'm very excited. It's also a sick name. You know what else is going to be sick? This next match.
I like that they picked random for Battlefield in Game 1 and then picked random Omega for Game 2. And both of them have been on legal stages.
That's so boring.
Yeah, that's so sad.
I'm not sure I agree with the dash attack to punish there. Bowser's a really easy character to get up air loops on just because he's so big and because because of his weight, you get it for a long time, and I think I would have taken the opportunity to do that. But there is actually something to be said for just having Arsene online, especially versus a character that really can't deal with Agahan.
Yeah. I think the big thing that both of these guys need to do a little bit is just sit back and play a little bit more patiently. I love that back air there from Solid, though, and that's exactly what it is that he set it up with that spike on the down B, and then he realized, okay, if Xavier's just going to try to land with an aerial, I can pop him for that.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to mention about down B is I've noticed him trying to roll through it to punish. It's really quite difficult to do in a lot of instances, actually, because of the landing hitbox. It'll often catch your roll because it's it's active when you get out of your roll, and then all of a sudden Bowser's plus on frames, when it's just often better to hold shield next to his landing and then punish accordingly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, big back air right there. Let's see if he can close it out. No, it's a little bit too patient there for Solid. Yeah.
And great air dodge avoiding the grounded hitbox from the Agahan as well. Because that does 26% overtime, I think. It's a lot of damage.
A lot of damage.
Being aware enough that he had the space and time to avoid that is just very good.
Dying off the top of that flying slam. At that position on the stage, you mostly just want to kind of hold down.
I'm really disappointed in my basketball team right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Solid's looking so solid. I'm glad that I got him on my team. See, I feel like for both of these guys, I kind of want to see them just slow the game down, particularly. Oh my gosh, okay, big counter there from Xavier.
That was nasty. I'm a big fan.
From Xavier. Now, that's working out for him there, but because he's been choosing these aggressive, like, press buttons all the time options the whole game, every time he whiffs a button, particularly on shield, Solid's been getting a really big punish, and I think Xavier just needs to kind of slow down and try to, like, set up spacing. Just make Solid throw out a move first with your movement. Look at that. Every time that Solid throws out a move it first, Xavier's getting a good punish after.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one thing that a lot of Joker players, myself included actually, get really, really scared of is wasting the time that you have with Arsene. It's really, really easy. Oh my lord.
Solid trying to carry him off the side, or maybe not. He's actually shaking his head.
But it's really easy to get into a trap where you're like, oh, I have Arsene, and it's such a powerful tool that I need to use it. But you don't always need to use it. Sometimes the threat of just having Arsene for 30 seconds gets you enough percent that you wouldn't have gotten previously.
And there we see Solid already thinking about doing that up B out of shield, and when Xavier landed with that counter, he just gave him all of that Arsene meter when command grab probably could have finished out the game. Down there's a lot of damage. That does mean Xavier gets my big boy Arsene on deck, but yes.
I would have liked to have seen Solid, rather than hold shield against down gun, just start walking, because tough guy beats out down gun. So you can follow Joker's landing a lot better than most characters, other than, like, I don't know, Sonic can, just by the nature of, playing a character that's able to disrespect down gun in that way.
Yeah.
At least on stage. Off stage, Bowser is not necessarily great versus down gun like some other characters might be, but like Lucina is very good versus down gun off stage. But yeah,
can be. But so I don't think they know that the set's over. But yeah, just got told by the TO now. So 2-0 victory for Solid. That means, of course, my 5v5 pickup team is complete with one very solid anchor, if I would say so myself.
I think that we can't draw any logical conclusions until we see the Bill Nye versus Shadow Bill Nye matchup.
Oh, boo-hoo.